In this video, we're going to discuss the NECA Back to the Future Toony Classic figures. Welcome back to the Swearwolves Horror Podcast YouTube channel. I'm Brett. If you're a returning subscriber, I just want to thank you for coming back. And if you're new to this channel, I want to thank you for stopping by. Please consider clicking the subscribe button as well as that notification bell below. We upload videos on a regular basis in which we review anything and everything horror, from action figures and toys to soundtracks, various collectibles, video games, you name it. Today, we are actually diverging from the horror topic, and we're talking about these NECA Toony Classic Back to the Future series of figures. Now, I actually got these for David, my co-host on the Swearwolves Horror Podcast, for his birthday. And then I was out at the store and I saw them and I thought, nah, I better pick them up. Back to the Future is one of my all-time favorite movies. It's a classic, still holds up to this day, and it's just awesome. These figures are 6-inch scale Toony Classics, much like the Toony Terror figures that we've reviewed in the past. These are based on the Back to the Future animated series. That's where they got the designs for them and everything, kind of their own take on the Back to the Future, the animated series, which I didn't watch growing up, that cartoon. I know there was that cartoon, and I remember there was a Teen Wolf cartoon too, so it was like you could watch Michael J. Fox inspired characters all morning long if you really wanted to. But I do like these figures. Like I said, I love Back to the Future, so I wanted to get these. Do they fit in with the horror room? Not so much, but, you know, I'll find a place for them. Maybe they'll be getting attacked by Michael Myers or Jason in the Toony Terrors line. We can have Doc Brown battling Pennywise and Biff getting mauled by Chucky and Tiffany. So that might look kind of cool to set them up that way. Let's go ahead and talk about the packaging. I'm going to focus on Marty here, because I'm assuming the packaging for Doc Brown and Biff Tannen is going to be the same. So first thing we notice, we got the Back to the Future logo there, and Back to the Future 35. It's been 35 years since this movie came out, so I feel old. Anyway, just the DeLorean and the name Marty McFly. We can see what Marty comes with, and we'll talk more about that once we open them. Let's turn it around to the back side. Back to the Future. Marty McFly. It says, Marty McFly and Doc Brown experience the adventure of a lifetime in an unlikely time machine as they travel to the past, present, and future, setting off a time-shattering chain reaction that disrupts this time-space continuum. Shows us what Marty includes here. He includes a guitar with strap, hoverboard with stand, and interchangeable hand. So he can hold the guitar. So, well, let's take a look at Doc Brown. I guess that one might be a little bit different, but here's Doc. He comes with Einstein, the dog. Does say the same thing on the back, and it just says what he includes, which again we'll get to, but glasses, remote control, interchangeable hands, and Einstein the dog with collar. And I guess we might as well take a look at Biff. We got Biff. And again, same writing right there, and it says what Biff includes. Biff just has an interchangeable head. Not sure which head I like the best. Maybe comment down below on which head you like the best. Do you like them without the teeth showing or with the teeth showing? We'll see when we get them open. All right, so on that note, why don't we go ahead and open these figures and give them a proper review. All right, we got the figures open here, and before we get to the figures themselves, let's go ahead and go through the accessories. I guess what I'll do is I'll do one at a time. So we'll start from the left here with Doc Brown, Dr. Emmett Brown, famed scientist, time traveler, and Wild West gunman. Doc Brown, I did want to say this. They didn't come with these stands. These are the NECA stands that I've bought separately. Couldn't get those guys to stand up properly. I didn't get a stand for Marty. Got him to stand up good, but there's a reason why I didn't get a stand for him, and we'll get to that when we get to the figure. But let's go ahead and start with Dr. Emmett Brown. Doc Brown comes with Einstein the dog. There's Einie right there. And just like I said, this is very stylized, very based on the animated series. So the only movement I see that he has is right here in the head. His tail does move too, but the legs do not have any articulation whatsoever. So you can tilt his head from side to side. He has this kind of like bugged out, like strung out look in his eyes. Like, Einie, you've gotten into something that you shouldn't have gotten into. But, you know, whatever. Pretty cute little figure here. Stands up really nice, so we'll go ahead and stand him up right there. Einie also has this collar accessory that he comes with. Looks like a stopwatch. There's that. Doc Brown comes with a remote control because you got to be able to remotely control the DeLorean. Again, very cartoony, very stylized. A lot of the accessories I've noticed, you can see the paint wear right there. A lot of the accessories as we get into this, well, at least two that I've seen, have scuff marks on them. I don't know if this is intentional. I would venture to guess it was not. So, kind of disappointed about that, but it does make it look like it's been used, which is okay with me. Gives it a little character. But some scuff marks that came on it right from the box. Doc Brown also has these goggles. Again, very cartoon style goggles that will sit on his head. And he also comes with these two alternate hands. Now these hands are going to be used, of course, to hold the remote control. And he has watches on both wrists because Doc Brown's obsessed with time. Here's the figure itself. Like I said, I had to put it on a stand, but I'll take him off of the stand right now. Let's talk about the articulation of the figure. His head is on a ball, so he does swivel at the top and turn, kind of bobble like that. He's got some articulation at the shoulders, and then the hands, of course, turn, and those will pop off for the other hands. His legs do move at the hips right there. He doesn't have any type of... There is a little bit of a bend at the waist, I guess. It's a little tight, so he does bend at the waist. And then his legs do move at the hips, and his feet move in and out like that. But he has these really narrow feet, if you can see, so that's what made it hard for him to stand up. Hence the reason why I used the peg holes and popped him on a stand. And now he stands up just fine. Talk about the figure itself, the detail. Of course, there's Doc Brown. Cartoon version of Doc Brown. It does actually resemble Christopher Lloyd in a weird way, but a cartoon version of Christopher Lloyd. So the face, I really like the dark lines. It makes it look like a drawing that has come to life. You got the dark lines obviously in the face here, but also on the edges of the coat and in the wrinkles and the pockets and everything. It makes it look like almost... You know, when you color in a coloring book and there's all those outlines, you know, that's obviously not what the real world is like, but this looks like a cartoon from a page that has come to life. And I think that NECA did a really good job. You can see more of those dark lines in the folds of the pants down there. So I really enjoy that. Backside, he's just wearing that lab coat, of course. But it's not a real coat. It's different pieces made up to look like it's one piece. Purple shirt, green slacks, brown shoes. A really cool figure. Like I said, I just like the style of the art that they used on this figure, and I think it looks really cool. It'll look really cool displayed all together. So there's Dr. Emmett Brown and all of his accessories, as well as Einstein. We'll move on to Biff, actually. We'll skip over. We'll save Marty for last. Here's Biff. Biff only comes with one extra thing, and that's the head. So this is his non-teeth showing face. And Biff has that same stylized look that Doc Brown had with his flat top crew cut and the backside. He's got a really long neck. And then, of course, the figure. We'll take him off the stand. He stood a little bit better because he has a little bit wider feet, but I couldn't get him quite to stand up how I wanted him to, and he fell over once, so I just put him on a stand as well. Again, articulation is going to be kind of the same except for the head, because the base, as you can see right here, is down lower. So his neck, he doesn't have any movement in the actual head part. It all comes in his neck. So his neck bends forward. You can kind of turn it, but he has no movement right here where a person would normally turn. Movement in the arms, no movement in the hands at the wrist. There's movement at the legs, and he can bend over at the waist, and then his feet move on a ball joint at the bottom here. Again, you see, like, there's a scuff right here on the paint. This was just opened out of the box. So kind of disappointed with that, but I'll probably end up changing the head anyway. Here's the back side of the figure. And again, with those black lines, drawn around the pockets and around the collar and everything, and used in the creases of his ears and in his brow there, even in his hair. This gives it that cartoon look. And of course, he's got those janky yellow teeth. We'll put him back on the stand, and we'll put him over here. We'll replace his head in a minute. All right, the man, the myth, the legend, Marty McFly. Marty comes with this guitar because, all Marty wants to do is play his guitar and sing. So we got the guitar with a strap, a very, stylized guitar, but it looks cool. It's got a very two-dimensional feel to it, even though it's a three-dimensional figure. Strap so it can go over his shoulder. Also comes with a hoverboard. Now this is the other thing that I noticed that had scuffs on it already. Again, I'm not too upset with this because, he's going to be standing on it and it gives it a little bit more character, but I don't think that's how it was supposed to come. And the packaging on this was really good. I was really pleased with the way that NECA packaged these particular figures, but something must have happened in transition or before they packaged it up that caused those scuffs. Pink hoverboard, that's what it looks like. You got the jets on the back and the fins. And then there's this little socket right here, or a little hole right here, that you can fit this ball on the edge of this stand in. And so that's why Marty's not going to have a stand, because Marty will be sitting on this, and there's a peg right here for the holes in Marty's feet to go into. So we'll get him up on that in a second. Here's Marty, of course, a lot smaller than both Doc and Biff. There's Marty wearing his vest, his yellow kind of jacket going on here. Marty does have articulation in the head. This ball joint, turn from side to side, up and down, and tilt back and forth. He also has movement in his shoulder and in his hands. Nothing in the elbow, but his hands do move. We have a bend at the waist, and then his legs can move, and then his feet can move in and out, right like that. Marty just looks like a young kid. Again, very cartoony, very reminiscent of the Back to the Future animated series. Got his red jacket, yellow sleeves. I guess that's not a vest. Maybe it is a vest and that's something he's wearing under, but it looks more like a Letterman's jacket now that I look at it a little bit more. White shirt, blue jeans, and of course, his high top sneakers. Here's the back side of the figure. So a really cute figure, looks really good. It's really representative of Marty McFly. Why don't we go ahead, and what I'll do is I'll put the figures, I'll kind of put the accessories on the figures, replace heads, replace hands, and we'll get them all set up, and we'll come back for our final thoughts on this. All right, I got everything set up how I'm probably going to have it displayed. I got Doc Brown goggles holding the remote. There's Einie with his collar. Marty holding his guitar, riding his hoverboard, and then we got Biff with the alternate head. I think I like that head a little bit better. The other one just, I don't know. Tell me your thoughts. What do you think? This head or that head? Anyway, overall, I really dig these figures. They're not the most articulated figures, but they're not supposed to be. They do a good job representing what they're trying to represent, which of course is a cartoon world of Back to the Future. They're not horror. I'm primarily a horror collector, but Back to the Future I give an exception to, and NECA does a great job doing these figures. I probably will, I most definitely will get the Ultimate Marty McFly NECA figures, as well as the other ones that are going to be released in that Back to the Future Ultimate line. But that's probably where I'll draw the line. I'm not going to, well, I say that now. I'm not going to delve too deep far outside of the horror realm, because that's just way too many figures. But these figures in particular, I would give them 5 out of 5 Pamela Voorhees heads. However, with the scuff marks, there was a couple other things that happened when I was changing accessories that I didn't dig too much. One being that Doc Brown's wrist right here, when I was pulling his hand off, maybe it was this. When I was pulling his hand off, I went to pull his hand off and the hand came off of the wrist. Not a big deal, but that happened. Another thing that happened was, and this is probably user error more than anything, was when I put Biff's alternate head on, popped the first one off just fine, I was pressing down. I had it on the stand and I was pressing down and I gave it too much force and his foot broke off. User error right there. But the good thing about it is I can just slide it on and no one will be the wiser. So I'm not too upset about it, but I don't know. I just wish they would make things a little bit easier to interchange so you don't have that problem. That's the first time that's happened to me. I want to say maybe I broke an accessory one time that came with a Jason figure, but other than that. That being said, I'm going to give, because of the scuffs and everything primarily, I'm going to give these series of figures 4.5 out of 5 Pamela Voorhees heads. If you agree, if you disagree, I'd love to hear from you. So again, comment down below your thoughts on this. And if you like this video, please click the like button. Also, if you haven't yet subscribed and you feel so inclined, click both the subscribe button as well as the notification bell. We are the Swearwolves Horror Podcast, and we do a weekly show in which we review horror movies. So please check us out by searching for the Swearwolves wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. Or you can also visit our website at theswearwolves.com. So, for the Swearwolves, I'm Brett. Hi, this is Brett with the Swearwolves. When I'm not editing videos or creating content for YouTube, I just sit here and wait. And wait. If you like the video that you just saw, go ahead and click that button right there. And if you haven't yet subscribed, go ahead and click that other button right there. I'll wait.